welcome. We hope that you had a safe and happy holiday season. We came up with an idea, the skipper and I, and we included NC1 in our idea because we don't take sole credit around here. We wanted to come up with a series for sailors. You know, our first podcast, or video podcast as it is, was Meet the Triad. The second one was about MWR. And we thought, hey, you know, we really need to address sailor issues. And one of the biggest issues we have is career enhancement and advancement, right? NC1's job is to help you reach your goals. And we know one of everybody's goals is to promote and
make more money,
capture that money, right? So we're going to call the series Career Enhancement and Advancement, and this will be the first segment in a series, first episode, if you will. And so one of the things we're going to be discussing today is some of the recent changes to the Navy Enlisted Advancement System. And we want to answer some of the burning questions that we've been getting with all the new policy directives coming down from Sailor 2025 office, and we've been getting NAVADMINs lately. But let's start off with one of the first things that's going to affect our sailors' lives is now, instead of just taking one advancement exam, they got to take 2 exams in order to promote. And so this first exam that we're here to talk about is it's referred to as PMK-EE, which stands for Professional Military Knowledge Eligibility Exam. And I hope some of you sailors are already aware of it, but if not, I'll give you a brief history. So this exam has come full circle in the Navy. Back when AME2 Mason, back in the early 1990s.
Back in the day.
Yeah, thanks. Back in the day, in order for me to take the rating exam back then, I had to take what was called a NAV lead exam. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? The NAV lead exam is basically this PMK-EE thing that they're talking, and it was all the questions about basic Navy questions about leadership and about basically professional military knowledge. It's what it is. So why don't we talk about it a little bit?
Well, so before PMK-EE, the advancement exam consisted of 200 total questions, right? So it was broken up 175 questions for in-rate and then 25 questions for PMK. Right, but I guess the Navy decided it took too long to take 200 questions to answer 200 questions. So they decided to break it up into 175 and then utilize the 25 questions and basically make that a Navy e-learning test, right? So the removal of the 25 PMK questions is now a separate requirement, like Mashi said, and it's going to be effective for the September 2019 exam.
Okay.
So you only have to take it once per pay grade, and then you can access it on Navy e-learning.
Once per pay grade.
Once per pay grade.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You have to pass it once per pay grade.
Pass it.
Yeah.
That's the important part. Pass it. So when can I start, can my sailors start taking it now? Do they have to wait? Is there an opening date, or are we already in full swing on this thing?
We are actually in full swing. It's currently available on the Navy e-learning website. You can find all of the exams there for your prospective rank. And then also there is actually a study guide that you can get on there as well.
Study guide.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I'm one of those guys that it may take more than one time to take the exam. Do I get more than one chance to take this exam, or is it one time, boom, you fail, you're out? Or can I, how's it all work? I mean, am I pulling an all-nighter to get this thing done, or can I chop it up in pieces?
Mm-hmm. Well, lucky for you, Mashi, you can take it as many times as you need to take it in order to get a passing score. Now, a passing score is a score of 80, and it's broken up into different sections. Each section you can actually take at however many times you need to, and then you don't have to take it all at one time. So you can take it at separate times if you want to. I wouldn't suggest staying up all night the night before it's due and then doing that. But if you wanted to start on it now, you could do one today, one tomorrow, etc., etc. And it's just like a Navy e-learning course. So once you've done one exam and you've completed that section, it saves automatically.
You don't have to redo it.
No, you don't have to redo it anymore. And then you can exit out of it and then come back into it after.
Okay, so you talked about when it's due. So, you know, for those procrastinators out there, when is the last possible time that I can take it and pass it before my rating exam? What's the last drop dead date?
So the drop dead date is the first of the month that you're taking your exam. So for example, if AD3 Mason was taking...
Man, I got demoted already! Holy cow!
Because, you know, ADs are near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, mine too.
So if AD3 Mason was taking his exam in March and eligible for the E5 exam, then March 1st would be the very last day that you could take it.
All right, and then it shuts down. You're out of luck if you miss that first of the month day to get it done. All right. Well, let's see. I have some other questions for you here. Okay, so I'm taking the test, right?
Okay.
And I'm passing the sections. Do I have to wait for like a system administrator to come back with a score, or how quickly can I get my scores and know that I passed this thing?
Pretty much immediately.
Immediately?
Yeah, so you'll click submit or score or whatever it says on Navy Learning, and then it'll pop up with your score and tell you if you passed or if you didn't pass. And then if you did, like I said, it automatically saves. So once you've completed the whole course, your results will automatically be transferred into the Fleet Temp system, which is a system that we'll use to verify if you've completed your PMK-EE.
Awesome. That's fantastic. All right, so, you know, originally when they had the advancement exam, there's only 25 PMK questions on there. Can I assume that this PMK-EE is only going to be 25 questions?
I wish. No, seriously, I wish.
No, really, I do wish.
No, so like I said, it's broken down into 5 different sections, and I would assume that each section probably has about 20 questions. The topics that are going to be covered are leadership and character, career information, talk to your career counselor.
Plug. Shameless plug.
Professional conduct, naval heritage, and seamanship. So I think it said that it was actually going to be 100 questions. So, and then they're going to break that up into sections. So you're not taking a 100-question test for each section, right? Yeah, nobody wants to do that. Yeah.
I don't want to do that either. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope that answered a lot of the questions and burning questions out there about the PMK-EE exam that we all have to take prior to our advancement exam. Now let's talk about this new NAVADMIN that just come out. It's NAVADMIN 316/18, which is talks about the Enlisted Advancement Worksheet implementation within the NSIP system.
So the Navy's trying to get to a point where it's catering more to the technologically savvy society that we have today, right? So you've seen all of those changes with that My Navy Career Center and all that other good stuff, right? You're
talking to a paper guy.
Yeah.
Everything's paper.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to make things easier, right? So what the EAW is your Enlisted Advancement Worksheet that you used to have to go see your ESO for, review your worksheet, make any changes, and then sign. All of that is now going to be available in NSIPs. Okay. So, yeah, it essentially makes the process easier and hopefully more accurate for all of the parties involved.
Okay. So what does this mean for our sailors? What does this mean for these guys?
So, it gives our sailors the ability to validate our enlisted worksheet like several months prior to actually taking the advancement exam.
Okay.
Right? So, if you're missing an award or if you have something like that isn't in there that should be in there, it gives you the opportunity to change that before you sign the worksheet.
Okay.
So additionally, it prevents any like weird stuff from happening towards the end of the...
You mean that, oh, by the way, I have this NAM.
Yeah, exactly,
that didn't get put into my worksheet.
Because once you sign the worksheet, everything should already be in there. Once you sign the worksheet, it's done. There's no adding awards to it. There's no backdating awards or anything like that to try to find points after you've already taken your exam to help you advance, right?
So pretty much the onus at this point is on the individual.
Yes. Yes,
so if your worksheet's wrong, it's kind of your own fault.
Yes, because you should have looked at it,
Okay.
right? So it gives the power to the sailors to be able to make those corrections. Just like kind of everything is, you know, everything again is coming like full circle. My Navy Career Center giving ownership to the sailor versus any other like links that that may be like affecting it, you know, that where things could go wrong.
Well, you know, we got a lot of junior sailors. You know that. All the CDVs we do. What if they kind of don't understand about the worksheet? Who can they go to help them out with their worksheet before it becomes final and all this stuff?
Well, you can go to your ESO. Also, I would assume that a lot of people's chain of command could probably help. So like your LPO, maybe somebody who's looked at worksheets before, who understands
like your
them.
chief,
your career counselor, right?
There you go.
Also, I can probably direct you to a instruction if you're more of like, I need to read it to understand it kind of thing.
Gotcha.
There's plenty of resources out there for you guys to get help. Awesome. For sure.
So when is this whole electronic worksheet? When is all this start? When is it going down?
It's going down right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So January 15th is the day that all of the commands are actually supposed to have their stuff put together in NSIPs, where you know they're going to start getting the process going and stuff like that. January to March is the pilot program where we're going to actually test it out. So that means if you're a CELRES and you're taking the exam in February, then your worksheet will actually be in NSIPs. If you are an E5 or below who are taking the exam in March, your worksheet is going to be signed via NSIPs.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, the program, you know, after they do the testing and try to fix any kinks or anything like that, it'll be fully available to everyone in the fleet.
All right. All right. Well, again, it's NC1 Prather, Master Chief Mason. We're giving you the tools you need for career enhancement and advancement, right? Yes. This is stuff you should know.
Stuff you should know.
All right, and that ends our first episode. And in the future, we're going to be talking about, our next episode actually will be about understanding the reporting seniors cumulative average, the RISCA, and then how it all factors into final multiples and things like that. So until next time, it's been a pleasure. And we get to do this again. It's stuff you should know, right?
Yep.
Good job.
See you guys next time.
We're done.